Go. Okay, I'm here in the shadow of Lucy the elephant, and I'm going to do a video quality test between the new DJI Mini 5 Pro and the older, stalwart Mini 4 Pro. We're going to see which one has the greater photo quality, because that's what everybody wants to know. I've been promising this video. I do these with all when I upgrade all these drones. We want to do a side by side, kind of same settings. Mostly on Dr. Auto settings, regular color footage, no D-Log, no color grading, no LUTs applied, anything like that. Just, auto settings, it said probably do 4K 30 on both, no post-processing at all. And yeah, so it should be an interesting test. And I'm gonna put these drones down here. Hey, we're gonna do a little bit of something different today. Usually we do these comparison tests in normal video color profile, but if we're really doing a video test here between, again, the Mini 4 Pro and the Mini 5 Pro, why not test them to their absolute maximum video quality here? So we're going to go over to use the D-Log M color profile on both drones, and then we're going to take the that footage into our editor, which in my case will be Final Cut Pro, and we'll apply the correction LUT from DJI to each drone. Each drone, the 4 and 5, have their own special correction LUTs designed by DJI themselves to push the colors, shadows, contrast, everything to their, I'm going to say perfection, or DJI's perfection for their color science. So that's what we're going to do today. Both of them in D-Log M. We're going to test the maximum video quality you can get out of these little drones. Why not? If you're going to buy based on what looks the best, then you might as well go all the way in. Okay, folks, we're starting out this test here with the DJI Mini 5 Pro here. Now we're flying south towards the exposure. The sun's starting to set a little bit here, so you're getting a lot of harsh, setting sunlight here, which is tough for almost any camera to handle at almost any price here. So it's a little bit overexposed, but we're in all Dr. Auto here. I'm not going to change any settings. I'm not going to put any ND filters on to help here. You're just going to see how it naturally handles the the exposure when you're flying towards a light source such as the sun. Okay, now we're getting the drones. The back of the drones face the sun now, so of course the exposure looks a lot better with the sun. Coming from the front of the drone to the from the back of the drone to the front. So kind of everything is perfectly lit now that we've got it completely flying the opposite direction towards the north here. So everything looks so much better now. The water looks blue. The exposure looks correct. It still could be a little high. Like if I was doing manual settings, I'd probably take it down to a stop down to a -3 or maybe even -7. But this can easily be fixed in post. Of course, I did shoot this in D-Log M. I did apply the DJI correction LUT, but I did nothing after that. If I went in and edited, I've turned down, I could make the exposure even look better here. So, but no, I like this footage here. It looks good. So colors look good. Shadows look good. Midtones look good. Basically your highlights, shadows, your midtones are some of the big things you're looking here at. So now now the sun's coming from our left. It's coming left to right here as I'm flying straight down the beach, looking towards the land this time. Previously I was looking towards the ocean, but now I'm looking towards land. You can see the back bay in the background. The island's not that thick. There's one of the high-rise condo towers. Again, everything's looking good. His clouds look good. Sky looks natural blue. Shadows, look at Lucy's, even though she's in shadow, she still looks good. So the highlights, shadows, midtones are all good and easily, all fixable if you wanted to go in and, in your favorite editor and play around a little bit here. So here we're heading towards Lucy the elephant, Margate's #1 roadside attraction here. And again, Lucy looks good here with the sun hitting her on her left-hand side here. Again, I like the exposure, shadows, highlights, colors, and of course, drone is flying well here. We had a day where, it wasn't windy, just normal shore breezes, and doing a little manual orbit around here. Now you can see the sun, you know, the sun's coming from the back of the drone, hitting Lucy directly on that south side there. It looks, you know, colors look nice, warm, natural. You know, there we go. That's a great shot too. The building looks crystal clear there, sharp. I like the sharpness of the footage here. Noise, of course, is good this time of day. So here we're going straight at the beach. So now the exposure is coming from the right-hand side of the screen now. And look good, handled up very well. I mean, handled everything but flying into the direct. I'm Ron from Ron Brown's YouTube channel, and I'm at one of my top secret testing grounds here, right in front of Lucy the elephant in beautiful Margate City down here at the Jersey Shore. Lucy was recently named the #1 roadside attraction in the U.S. and she's pretty busy today. I saw people up on the Hoopa. I don't know how to pronounce that right, the thing up top or whatever, going through the guided tour today. But yeah, so we may get a couple shots of Lucy in here. And I'm going to try to fly, if I'm going to try to set up like a waypoint so they both fly the same exact mission. But if creating a waypoint is a time killer here, I'm going to stop it and just try to fly manual and duplicate the thing. Because sometimes I don't want to waste a half hour getting the waypoint set up and not having it working anyway. So maybe not. We'll see as we go along in the video here. So yeah, and right off the top here, let me say, I may cut this and put it in a later part of the video. I know, the first, I'm going to do this test, and the first thing, somebody's going to say is, can you do a low light test? And, and here's the thing, this time of the year, it's early November. We've already changed the clocks and all that. So when we get near the low light, like right before sunset, I mean, the light changes so quickly at that point, like, and it takes at least more than 5 minutes, probably close to 10 minutes to actually get the drone up in the air, run your little test flight or whatever, get it down, get it off, so that 5 to 10 minutes that can go between the drones doing their flights, that could directly change the light quality. So what I'm saying is the drone that goes first almost always wins those competitions. And unfortunately, I don't have another pilot here. I don't have a lot of drone flyers here in Margate City, maybe not at all. So I don't have anybody else to fly the drone at the same time I'm doing. So yeah, so that the low light just doesn't really, work unless you got two people, because again, unless you fly at night, because once it's totally dark, it's totally dark. So I could do that at some point, totally dark, but most people want to see that twilight test. That's the reason why you're not seeing it today. And plus, I know, the people that want the twilight test, they're the loudest people in the comments. If you have 50 people comment in your video or whatever, or watch the video, the only ones that are going to comment are the low light people, whatever, where most people fly their drones in good daylight or whatever. So I'm doing the test that's going to help the larger part of the audience, the people that fly in when the light's good, the light's sun's up high, whatever. So the low light people, they're the minorities, but they're the loud minority or whatever. And again, maybe what I could do for you people, for you folks, is I'm not trying to discriminate any group of people here. Maybe I can fly someday I could fly like 5 minutes before, at twilight or sunset or whatever, and then come back the next day, because the light's only going to change probably a minute or so or something like that between the day. Do the same exact flight again. Conditions are still going to vary. One day could be cloudy, the other, and so on and whatnot or whatever. So, but maybe I'll try to do something with the twilight. But just be flying back to back, it's not going to help you, because, like I said, just a few minutes between flights, the light's going to change greatly, and second drones is not going to get a fair shot of it. So yeah, so that's about it here. Okay, one more thing too. No ND filters are going to be used today on either drone. ND filters, are keep shutter speed down, so you have natural motion blur and whatever. Well, I'm mostly flying high today, 100 feet. 100 feet. My test today was I flew about 100 feet off the ground. Base. Sometimes I went a little bit higher, a little lower, but my base was about 100 feet off the ground. So it was really no motion blur to see in these videos anyway. So again, no filters are used in the making of this video. Again, Dr. Auto, keep it all fair, same 4K, same. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm going to do 30 frames per second in case I forget, unless I forget to undo 60 frames per second from something or whatever. But Yeah. So, with no further ado, I'm sure I'm going to think of something else I should have said, but let me get this test started here. All right, now it's the older Mini 4 Pro's turn to do the same test. I'm going to fly. I didn't wind up doing waypoints. It was taking too much time up, so I'm just going to try to fly by memory, try to retrace my steps from the first flight with the Mini 5. So here we're coming down here, and this drone, it has a smaller sensor, a narrower aperture, so it's a little bit darker than the other one. Actually looks better because it is darker. The other one was too overexposed, so being that this camera doesn't let as much light in, it actually looks better flying into exposure than the Mini 5 did. So we'll see how that holds up through the rest of the shoot here. Yeah, the Mini 5, of course, has the 1-inch sensor, the near 1-inch sensor, and the 2.0 aperture. I think the focal length is the same on both of them. It looks the same to me here. So here we're facing again with now the light's coming from the kind of the right side of the screen here, going right to left, and I get out over the water here. Waves look good crashing there. I don't have an ND filter on, but they look pretty natural coming in and crashing. So now the drone the sun's at the back of the drone here, and now nothing's dark, everything's exposed well. In fact, maybe a little bit too much exposure here. Now, of course, I did shoot this in D-Log-M using the DJI's correction lens. So I could go in here if I was, kind of color correct here or post editing. I could make this, bring the exposure a little bit down. But exposure looked good. I like highlights, shadows, midtones, all look good here and all easily correctable if you want to tweak them a little bit here. Again, the ocean looks the right color blue here. You can see some clouds in the background there towards Atlantic City. They kind of show up well here too. Again, just beautiful day here at the beach. Waves look great coming in there. There's what we call the outfall pipe here. There are things that if they get flooded on the street here, the water runs out to the beach here and back into the ocean. And that's a few people walk around. It was a nice, even though it's early November, it was a nice warm day. Not swimming weather, but you can certainly sit on the beach, especially if you had like a little hoodie or something on, or you could bring your cars on the beach this time of year. You see a couple cars there. Okay, so now I'm facing towards the land here. The water's at the drone's back, so we're facing the land, and you can see the island, you can see the back bay, and then the wayland in the background. So, okay, I'm looking at the shadows here, and I'm comparing this to the Mini 5, and the shadows, a little bit more crushed here than they were on the Mini 4. Mini 4, exposed the shadows a little bit better, and Island House looked a little bit brighter than the other one. Now, this is the second flight here, so the first flight got a little bit more light than the second one did. So how much is hard to say. But, the sun's coming from, say, the left-hand side of the screen. Now, see how it lights up the backside of the Island House condo building there. All right, so there's our good friend Lucy the Elf here. And she looks to be a bit more in the shadows than she did, with the Mini 5. Not quite as well exposed. I mean, it looks good. The shadows look real nice here. You can see all the exposure coming on her left-hand side where the sun's setting, or starting to set. So, but there's people on top of the hoop there walking around. I'm saying that right, but you can take a guided tour of Lucy, and you see those people up top. They get the bird's eye view up there, look around, see the ocean and Margate. I mean, they think they have a bird's eye view. They should see my bird's eye view from the drone, right? But here we doing a manual orbit around here, and you see that warm sun hitting the left-hand side of Lucy or the south side of Lucy. The colors look beautiful here. I like the color profile, on this drone here. Especially when I shoot D-Log and apply that correction light, does a great job. Again, look how sharp Island House is there. Look at the sharpness. I don't see any noise. There's Atlantic Avenue looking down towards Atlantic City. So looking beautiful, really. And again, this is the older Mini 4 Pro. Here we're kind of going towards the beach again. Now the sun's coming from the right-hand side of the screen here. All right, that was my camera video quality comparison test between the older Mini 4 Pro and the newer Mavic 5, Mini 5 Pro, Mini 4 versus Mini 5. The Mini 5 was just released in September, of this year to most of the world. U.S. Of course, availability, was basically eBay. Yeah, and we got, of course, a bigger camera sensor on the Mini 5. We got almost a 1 inch size sensor. We got a wider aperture. So that was, and of course, all that stuff's good for low light. But, I've already gone over the parameters of the test here, between the two drones. So, I'm not going to give you my conclusions on what I thought was better. I know what I thought was better, but I want you folks to watch the video to leave it down in the comments which one you thought was better. Of course, Mini 4, Mini 5, and or if you didn't see any difference at all, or if you thought again. They were the same. You couldn't tell. Just let me know down in the comments your thoughts. I'll get back to you. Respond to your thoughts. Like I said, I'm not going to give mine here. I don't want to prejudice the anybody's opinion. So you give yours, and I'll respond to what I thought. Of your comments on what you thought of the video quality. So okay. If there's any other testing you want me to do, with the drone as far as camera, quality tests, let me know down below. I talked about a few things in the video why I didn't do a twilight one, and I still could attempt a twilight one. You let me know the parameters you would want to see there. My issues is, like I said, this time of year, when the twilight hits, the sun's going down fast, and it's just hard to do a fair test. Again, whoever goes first looks better, but any of the tests besides camera quality, if you want me to test, I don't no range tests, of course. I'm not gonna do any range tests, and tracking. I've already done a tracking test with the Mini 5 and the Mini 4, so you can just go back and look at them on my channel. I haven't done them, side by side or whatever, but that would be tough anyways, right? But I've done tracking already on both of them, so that's already kind of in the can. Maybe I'll link them down up top here or something at the end of the video. So, but anything else you want me to test out, with the Mini 5 versus Mini 4, or doesn't have to be, but since I have both those drones and I can do it, let me know down below in the comments, and I'll try to see what I can do to accommodate you. I ain't getting into, it's late fall for me. The winter weather is already seeping in here, so it's getting harder and harder for me to get out in the field and do this testing, because it's not only cold out, but it's getting extremely windy. I get more windy days than I do non-windy days now, and of course there's a lot of precipitation, rain. We haven't seen any snow yet, but that could be coming soon. So okay, but that's about it. I won't go on forever in this conclusion here. Say my usual stuff. If you like the video, give me the thumbs up. If you want to support this channel, please become a member, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you know when I put a new video up. And a good way you can help the video is you leave a comment. That helps, the algorithm, helps more people see, the videos. Even though I make a ton of videos, the YouTube algorithm doesn't like me. It really doesn't push my videos out to many people. But if you leave comments and thumbs up, that'll help a little bit here. And I'm trying to do better answering comments in the chat to help myself out here. So yeah, again, I think I've already said thanks for watching, but thank you for watching. I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm going to put some of those videos I mentioned up top here that you can click over and watch a couple of them, and I think you'll enjoy some of the previous testing I've done with the Mini 5. So, okay, that's it. See you on the next one.